The Nintendo Entertainment System was one of the best things that ever happened to me as a kid. So many great games, so many great memories. Not only did the NES bring families together, it also forged friendships and gave new meaning to the word fun. Today I present you with some of the games that helped shape my childhood.
Now you're playing with Tower.
I remember watching a kid named Dan play this when I was on break in school one day. This is a kid I didn't normally get along with. He was kind of a punk, picked on me sometimes. But for whatever reason, he was being nice to me that day. Even let me try it out. There wasn't really any other kids around at the time for him to entertain, so I suppose I was the only one to show off this game to. It was pretty cool. I thought the top-down view was neat while driving around looking for sewers to crawl into. I even thought the sewer stages were kinda cool. What I didn't care for were the enemy encounters. There were a lot of cheap shots, usually due to slowdown because of too much action on the screen at once. There was also a problem while jumping during these moments. Oftentimes you'd miss and land right in the middle of enemies walking below you. It had a moderate to downright what the heck type of challenge. One of the best features was being able to choose one of the 4 turtles whenever the mood struck, so as to not only play the way you wanted to, but if the current turtle met their demise, you had a backup to carry on the fight until all turtles were no more, and then it was game over. I think the most notoriously difficult stage is where you had to disarm bombs underwater while trying your best not to make contact with the electrified kelp, and you didn't have much wiggle room to work with either. And I don't mean an actual room to wiggle in, just in case you were wondering. I think this game runs close to most gamers' hearts because it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you had it, you were the cool kid on the block. Not because it was some super awesome game to play. It isn't totally bad, it just could have been better, I think. I mean, I still like it. I'm sure you already know by the title of the game that I can easily follow suit and copy what everybody else has to say about it. I really don't want to do that. I'd rather share an interesting story behind it instead. I had been sitting in my living room with my NES on the table playing Zelda, and I believe it was either late spring or early summer. I had my back door open because I loved the outdoors and wanted fresh air to come in. I don't remember how far along I was in the game exactly, but I know I was really into it. I may have been close to the end, who knows? Well, the neighbor next door must have had their back door open as well, because in comes their little one, trotting along in a diaper with a Kool-Aid smile on his face, right in front of the TV, and in the process trips over the wires, disconnecting the power to the NES. The boom the NES made coming back down from outer space must have scared him because he started crying, and his mother comes rushing in to see what happened. She didn't even know he walked out, totally clueless. If memory serves, I believe she said that he had recently gotten into the habit of pushing a chair or box over to the door so as to reach the handle and let himself out. Who knows what she was doing to not know her kid had gone on vacation without her. But yeah, parenting. Well, you remember how the game instructs you to hold in the reset button as you power off your NES so as to not lose your saves? Well, there's a reason for that. I lost everything and had to start over. The only thing she could do was apologize, and judging by the look on her face, it felt like an empty apology, really. I think she was just more concerned with collecting her child and going home, which is understandable. The situation must have been embarrassing for her. Oh well, such is life. Anyway, there's my story. On to the next game. There's nothing like driving around in a jeep armed to the teeth, rescuing hostages and taking out the enemy. This game is kinda like a cross between Iron Tank and Choplifter, and I love it. Your job is to make sure you bring rescued hostages to a heliport and not die in the process. When you rescue certain soldiers, your grenades will upgrade to a powerful bazooka, and will get stronger the more you save. You don't just take out the typical enemies either. There's also boss fights too, which offer a nice little bit of variety. When the enemy takes you out, you will lose all your power-ups, and the rescued POWs you had in your vehicle will remain in the area, but will start to scatter. Don't worry though, they can be re-rescued. This is a great game, and there's a lot of fun to be had here. A definite Konami title you'll want to put in your collection for sure. I'm going to keep this one very, very short. I owned it, played a little bit of it, probably about 20 or 30 minutes, and that's it. I don't remember much really. I only mention it here because it was a part of my childhood. Sorry if I've disappointed you, but here's a picture of me as a kid at Christmas when I received my NES. I'm the one on the left, the box on the right is my sister. I hope that makes up for it. You got 50,000 on Double Dragon? No, I didn't, pleb savage. Moving on. Double Dragon was a game that intrigued the heck out of me when I was a kid, even though I don't think I really got into it as much as the other kids. I think I more so enjoyed watching others play it rather than play it myself. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun game, I just didn't have the urgency to pop it in and go to town. Probably because I wasn't all that good at it. Much later in life, however, I can appreciate it more now than when I was younger. Oh, and I wouldn't want to skip out on mentioning how great the music is. I really do enjoy this fun soundtrack. There's definitely the nostalgia trip factor that'll always be there for me when it comes to this game, as I really enjoy beat-em-ups. And this game is a fine choice coming from this genre. This is Random Battle signing off, and until next time, stay random and battle on.